And hello, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday morning training call. And, we've got a great subject matter I think will interest all of you. I learned years ago, in my 3.5 decades of practicing and learning about network marketing, you can boil it down to three things, the master keys, three things. And one of my early mentors taught me this. He was previous triple diamond in Amway and one of the most brilliant platform speakers and trainers ever. God rest his soul, Bob Crisp. I'll give him credit. He's moved on to a higher plane now, but he said the first goal is to get people in. Number one, getting them in. The second goal, number two, is keeping them in. Keep the front door open, keep the back door closed. And the third goal is moving them along, helping them to move along. That means your customers learning more about other products gradually in our PC Plus program, which gives them samples of the other products, is a nice way to do that. And it also means with your brand partners, helping them, progress at their rate of speed. And I see LifeWave kind of like as a 5-lane super highway. And some people get in and they're just cruising down the right lane in their little electric carts, and that's okay, but they're making forward progress. And some people come in and they go, "Oh my God, I've been waiting all my life for this, and it's pedal to the metal and get out of the way." And they zoom over to the left lane and off they go. So, and there's a place for everybody here in LifeWave. And our job as responsible sponsors, it's interesting how sponsor and responsible kind of interwoven there is to help people move at their preferred rate of speed. That doesn't mean you give them a little nudge every now and then to get them to speed up, okay? But you don't want to try and push them too fast because things start wobbling and it gets uncomfortable. So today we're going to focus on master key number two, which is keeping people in, or better known as retention. How to best retain our customers and brand partners. And we had a really juicy discussion yesterday on our director's call that we're going to carry forward with you, and identified a few of our leaders that have a very unique and well-balanced perspective on retention. And I like to call upon Anne Moreau to be first, because in the previous company she came from, she won the retention award. She was one of the queens of retention, along with Connie Lucas. The two of them, we're so blessed to have them both in LifeWave with us, because they understand the value and importance of keeping people in. So, Anne, if you're there, if you'd like to share for a little bit, we'd love to
Yeah,
hear from
I'm here. I'm right here,
you.
Gregory.
Beautiful.
Thank you for the introduction. And I want to just say that part of the business here is really about supporting our group, right? Our people, whoever we bring in, we want to be there for them. We want to support them through their journey. And it's not only about support, but about education. So for me, what I have done, and again, everybody's different. Some people use spreadsheets. I've used my email. And what I did with my email is I created a group of my customers, a group of my brand partners, and I have nutrition clients. So I've got them all in groups, and I tend to keep them informed via email, and I often will use text messages as well. Depends on the individual, but for the most part, what I try to do is I send them information at least once, if not twice a month. So, for example, if we see David Schmidt is presenting something on a new product or on a product, because he typically does that once a month, I will send them that recording so that they can stay educated and informed. Or if there's something that pops up and I think to myself, oh, my group would really enjoy this, they would learn a lot. I get feedback from people all the time. They say to me, "I'm so glad you sent that. It was powerful. It was really, I really enjoyed it. We had, we really, what we're doing is we're keeping them in the company learning, right? And then inviting. So I'm always inviting, even though they've been part of my company for quite a while, or part of the company for a while, I want them to stay connected with the community. So being part of that community is really important. So I'm always inviting them to the Sunday calls or any kind of, the health professional calls on Tuesday night. Even though they're already customers, they're going to learn something if they can hop on. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It depends on what's going on in their life and their schedule, right? So it really is about staying connected. And I also here in Maine do a dinner, and I invite all of my customers, anyone that's been here before, I continue to invite them back. Come back, and I'm always showing sometimes different videos, giving them different information. We here do a dinner because, again, I'm a nutritionist, so we tend to do a kind of a potluck, healthy, nutritious dinner for them, and they go home with recipe ideas. And so there's a whole lot of different things that I do, but everyone is different, and you're going to find that avenue that's going to work best for you. But it has worked very well for me, staying connected with everyone, customers, brand partners, just creating that wonderful community, sense of community and positive energy. People today are looking for community that is positive, that is supportive. They want that more than anything. So that's my piece, Gregory. So back to you.
Well, thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Anne. And I want to share a personal experience I have along the line of retention. And when 20 years ago, when I was VP of sales of an anti-aging nutrition company, we were very focused on retention. We're very focused on getting people in. We're focused on keeping people in and moving them along. But we hired an outside marketing research firm to do some analysis of our customers, and they called and interviewed a bunch of customers that left and a bunch of them that were still there and analyzed a difference. And they came up with 11 different things that we could or should do to increase our retention. And the two most important things that stood out above all the rest, they said, number one, back in that company, we had what was called the metabolic model of aging. And that sounds complicated, but we had to make it simple because we had products that helped reverse the aging process. Also, they were nutritional products. Okay, that company's no longer network marketing. And there's a number of people here in LifeWave, like Ann and myself, that were in that company. But we had, they said when people understood, and I'm going to translate that to LifeWave, when people understand the power of photobiomodulation, when they understand the magic of photobiomodulation, you know, that's a key cornerstone. That was the first one, understanding the science, the scientific foundation of the products would build belief. And number two, they felt like they belonged and they had a line of connection and communication with their upline and with the company. So listen to what Ann just said. What does she do? She's always dripping and communicating. She is her people's health mentor. She's finding information and sharing information. It's not just getting them in. Keeping them in means you're developing a relationship. You've heard me say over and over again, the primary objective is long-term mutually rewarding relationships with our customers, with our brand partners, with the company, and with our cross-line cousins, but I just wanted to share that perspective. And both of those things, that relationship with people and, the knowledge and understanding builds belief, and belief is the glue that keeps people in. So I think we're going to zoom down to Palm Springs, okay? And I think Judy Friesen, she's very diligent also, like Ann, in staying in contact and communication with her customers and brand partners. And as a result, she's got great retention. So Judy, do you want to share some of your secrets?
Sure. Thank you, Gregory, for having me on. Yes, I have had about 15 years as a vice president in fundraising positions, and that was in donations and fundraising. And so there's a lot of crossover that I've used to take best practices over into network marketing. So what I do is very similar to Anne. I have groups that I put maybe twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month. I will send a very special invitation to them to listen to an upcoming webinar or to listen to a video that I just watched. But what I have found is that I don't get a lot of people responding back. So what I'm doing lately is asking them to say, would you watch just this one small segment, maybe from minute mark 15 to minute mark 17? I think that you will really like that part. And that creates curiosity. And then I say, would you be so kind, because we already have a relationship, just to give me a one sentence feedback on what did you get out of that, or what did you like about it, or do you have a question? And often there'll be a question, so that'll actually spur on an opportunity to have a one-on-one. And so then I have my day timer full all the time with people who are saying, hey, do you think that this could help my friend or my cousin? Or I'm still struggling with this or that. It opens up the door that they feel comfortable to have a kind of a one-on-one personal consult. And they all know that as a nutritional coach and consultant, I tell them, if you're in LifeWave, you get me for free. I'm not charging you by the minute or by the hour. So I do listen to all of the videos that I possibly can of the webinars, and I'm thinking in my head, all of the people that are in my sphere of influence, prospects, as well as current brand partners and PCs. And I think about each one of them almost all at the same time. And I think, oh, that minute mark, that'll be perfect for Josie. Oh, that will be great for Joe. And if I don't do that, I just simply send it out and say, this part of the video was my absolute favorite. I would encourage you to take 5 minutes or 4 minutes out of your day and listen to it. Besides that, I also keep files on each one of my PCs and brand partners. And I have a little cheat sheet that I remind myself on my calendar. In this quarter, I need to contact these people. And the next quarter, I'm going to contact the rest of them, so that every year we've had a personal call where I will call up and we'll talk about everything else other than LifeWave. I'll wish them a happy birthday or anniversary. And then they will inevitably bring up some other topic and it'll come back to the patches. So I keep in touch. I dribble on them. I customize a lot of the webinars that I send them so that they will want to listen to them because I create the curiosity.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Judy. A lot to be learned in there. And one of the things I just want to comment, Liz commented, and you probably do this when you're sending out emails, and probably Ann the same, to your group, use blind copy, because you don't want anybody getting everybody else's emails.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you always
always. And in some people who are really struggling or who are showing great interest in going forward in the business part, I will send them their own personalized separate, so that in the body of the email, it'll be obvious that they're not getting just blind carbon copy, because most people are knowledgeable enough now to know that this is just a blanket email and that can turn them off. So I also, at least a couple times every other month, I will send most of my key people, the ones who are ordering regularly or who are wanting to do the business, I'll send them their own personalized one, and I'll put something in the email to trigger, to tell them that this is not a blind carbon copy, that this is actually for them. But everybody else that I'm doing, if I don't have time, I'm always blind carbon copying. And then guess what? I actually have then the copy of that email that went out in my own inbox, and I have a special folder where I put all those emails, because then all of a sudden someone will come up next week and I'll think, oh, I should just resend that email. And I now have a copy of that and I can customize it if I want to. Saves me a ton of time.
That's beautiful. That's really clever. Thank you so much for sharing that, Judy. And again, just like with Ann, the key is developing the connection. People feel like they're connected to you, that you're nurturing them with knowledge and information and love and care. Sometimes just a call to see, happy birthday, how's the dog, how are you? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And in a relationship's not just all about business. It's a big part of the relationship that we have with many people. And the products are a big part, but it's that personal connection also that I know that they feel from you.
I have one other quick thing, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please go
The other
ahead.
thing that I do again carry over from when I was in fundraising was I will look at once a year how long have they been in LifeWave? When's their anniversary? And I'll mark that down and I'll only
Nice.
call and just say, hey, you've been involved in LifeWave now for 3 years or 2 years. I'm just celebrating that with you. And they go, really? Like, this is something to celebrate? Well, of course it is. You're taking care of your body, taking care of your health. And so I think it's really cool. Like when I was with fundraising, I did the same thing. If you've been a donor for 10 years in this organization, that's something to celebrate. And we even looked at and said, hey, you've just reached the $100,000 mark. All of your giving in the last while that you've been with XYZ charity. So it's the same
Mhm.
thing. Look and see how long have they been with LifeWave, not necessarily to add up how much they've spent, obviously, but the principle is have something to celebrate just besides anniversaries or saying, happy Easter or happy or Merry Christmas. It's to focus in on the fact that they have been a valuable long-term customer, and it's not about sales, it's about their health, and that you're celebrating that with them. And they start to realize, oh, Judy's going to call me next year and it's going to be my 5 year, and I might send them a little gift.
That's so great. That's so great. And that all it builds the glue of relationship. And that's really what we want because people will stick with us. They'll stick in the wagon if there's a little glue in their seat, because we hit bumps every once in a while. Customer service doesn't return a call or an order is delayed. That's just life. The company continues hiring humans, and I'm glad they do. And, none of us are perfect, but, the goal and the intention is really pure. We're with, the best company I've ever been with in 35 years. Well, I spent 5 of those 35 years now with LifeWave. So Rob and I are really blessed. And thank you, Judy. Any last comments before we let you go?
Hey, I could go on and on, but this is sparking another concept that I use, which is
Uh-huh.
I for all of my PCs, I always call on their behalf to sort out any problems, any issues, any glitches. And I will invite them to come on the call with me. But for my brand partners, I always tell them I am going to be there to help you. If you have a problem with your order, or you have, you get your sleeves and there's something missing, then I will help them. I will not just say, well, that's too bad. I hope you can sort it out. I will, for their first time when they have a problem, I will get on the phone together
Mhm.
with them and say, let's call customer service. And the next
Yes.
time they have a problem, guess what they're doing? They're calling customer service without me. I can't believe it. I've been able to kick the kids out of the house and now they can do it on their own. But the first time, even for a brand partner, I
Hmm.
do not say to them, too bad, I'm so sorry. Obviously, I wouldn't say that, but I try to help them sort it out. And a couple times when they said, well, some of my packages were dented or they were missing backing or something, I'll say, you know what? I'm popping some extras in the mail for you right away. Everybody knows, I think they know that they can stay in my organization because I will bend over backwards to help them, but I also want to teach them how to fish themselves. But there's a timing in that. And so I love customer service because I know it's retention, but it's also showing love, and love is the key. Absolutely, love is the key.
All you need is love. That'd be a good song, wouldn't it? Thanks so much, Judy. And we're talking a lot about it being about belief. And yesterday we had a passionate discourse from our favorite truck driver, Carl, about how important belief is and how he works to instill belief. And Carl, if you're out there, if you could just
I
chime in,
certainly am, Gregory. Thank you
there you
so much.
go.
And I'm still a student. I'll be a student forever in this game. And as I'm learning and having made the shift from previous business that was, entirely me centered, my initiatives, my everything, you shift to this group concept of lifting people up. And I just want to say, just on the tail end of what Judy said, it's such a pleasure to work with her. We are cross-line cousins, but we work very closely together. And it's a pleasure to draw out her resources in what is now becoming a semi-regular podcast that we've started. But so this is so important, this belief thing. And you said it yesterday. I hope I'm not repeating what you already said today, but we start with information. We start with education. We move
Mhm.
to belief. And there's a famous line that Kai gave us, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your interest? We want to see sevens and above to get them in. I think that's an opportune moment to set the intention of their belief. Now, sir, madam, whoever, what is your belief that you see this product doing what others say it can, and get them to identify that, and then maybe even try to bridge that gap. But so we have this education, we have the belief factor, and overarching all of that is the faith, because belief is one thing and faith is the long-term goal of staying with it. And we know we ask for 3-month commitments. And so, in working with people that express a lot of doubt, I want to pump the brakes at that moment and say, what's your belief factor now? How can we enhance that? And revisit that later on, because we're in a game where if the front door is open to the same degree as the back door, we're in a zero-sum game. We've got to keep that belief factor and revisiting it in ways that Judy identifies in a very structured sense. I love Ann Morrow's approach, the community and the building. That's what I've learned is working so well, is building that relationship. And Ann, you couldn't have said it better. In this time and age, people are looking for community. Relationships have been torn apart. Families have been disseminated. We're seem to be more tribal than ever. We want to create that community and that belief. Belief is going to keep them in the game. And that is extremely important as we move forward. There is room for unbelief. You can accommodate both at the same time, but we want that belief to be higher and in a greater proportion than the unbelief. And so working with our people to constantly raise that belief, that's going to happen by their own experience and the testimonies of others, which is why our testimonies, the stories we tell, are compelling to others, even if we're not getting the results that we want. Because people come into this for 2 or 3 good reasons. Number one, they want some personal achievements. They want to get better. They want to get healthier. They want to get stronger. And the second one would be as strong or stronger, they want to be in a business. So the stories and the testimonies, the belief factor keeps us in the game. And the stories of others also, when we're not getting the results, keep us in the game. So it's really important to tag into people. And one more thing I want to say, there's a saying that we have, maybe it's not LifeWave, maybe it's in direct selling. The speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. That's important in 2 fronts. Number one, we can't get too far ahead of our people. And you touched on this, Gregory. We want to match them in our speed. So in the words of trucker speak, we got people that come in on the merge lanes and they sit in the granny lane, which is the right lane where you want to just maintain sort of an average speed. But there are those that hit the left turn signal and they want to hammer down and get in the hammer lane. And that's where you want to match them. So when we're in people in the slower lanes, the granny lane or the hammer lane, let's match their speed, but let's match them. So I reached out recently and I said to a few of my members, I says, I want to match your speed. How fast do you want to go? Where do you want to go? What is it you want to achieve? Because I will match your speed. And if I don't have the resources, I have the upline support to bring them in. We will match your speed and we'll go as fast as you want to go or at the pace you want to go. So again, keeping them, that they are not being overwhelmed or underwhelmed by it. It's really important. And that all hinges on relationship, which has already been talked about. So it's relationship, it's education, it's belief, helping them keep the faith for a period of time till the results come in and matching them at their speed. Thank you for letting me share, guys.
Oh, beautiful. As he's trucking down the road at high speed. Thank you, Carl. That's beautiful. It's important to keep track, and everybody uses different ways of keeping track. I like files. Robin likes binders. Some people use spreadsheets. And our next speaker's Jennifer Allen. She's a spreadsheet girl, and she uses spreadsheets. And she's put together a couple of slides she's going to share on how she gets information from the back office, puts it in a spreadsheet, sorts and selects and keeps track of her people that way. So Jen, if you'd like to jump on, and I
I,
did make you co-host, so you can
so then
can
I
share
can
your
share
screen
it.
too.
And I have it's only 5 little pages, but I have it set up. My daughter worked with me last night. I told Robin and Gregory, she's a businesswoman, MBA. So what I'm going to do is,
While she's looking for that, can we briefly have Julianne share? Uh, um, well,
Sure.
so Julianne, we spoke yesterday and you were sharing how you take care of your people and how often you stay in touch. So could you briefly share what you're doing that's staying really connected to all of your customers and brand partners?
Well, I like to stay connected and not chase them. So just like Carl said, you want to meet them at their speed. And I think that for me, the way I want to be treated is how I want to treat my customers and my brand partners. So I just like to build that connection saying, hey, I'm here. I haven't forgotten about you. I'm going to love on you. And I just have these few things to kind of ask you how you're doing. Is there anything I can help you with? And then keep them plugged in and keep them interested, because I don't want anybody to fall through the cracks or feel left behind. And so just having that relationship with them. And one thing I think I forgot to mention when we talked, Robin, is not just keeping it about the business, keeping it about a relationship business. It's not when we gain interest in their family, what's going on in their life, how are they doing, how is their health, or how is, whatever's going on. I want them to know that I'm an ear for them, or a shoulder that they can lean on at the same time. So they're
Right.
fully getting this full support from me, because I think that's what really, attracted me to this team, was the interconnection and the relationships, because, we all know this is a relationship business, with, a compensation plan and personal development and just maintaining that connection with people. Is that kind of what I was covering? Robin, I have a lot going on in my
No,
head.
that's wonderful. And when we were talking yesterday, Julianne was saying how she just loves on people. And you know what? There's no limit to that one. And people just feel when people feel valued and appreciated, they want to stay connected. So staying connected like you do, and I know you said, certain people are every other week, certain people are every month, and you ask them, and isn't that wonderful? So I think Gregory's got the slides working.
Yeah, I think, Sunflower, I see your hand up. Do you have the
Thank you,
slides?
Julianne.
So?
I
Thanks,
don't
Julianne.
have that.
Gregory,
Go
you have
ahead with that. I
Gregory,
just
you
have a
and
little
Robin.
something to add.
Okay.
You and Robin have them.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Great.
Sunshine, did you want to share something before I bring the slides up?
Oh, sure. I just would like to let people know, when people write things out, it helps them remember things. And a good thing to do with your new brand partners is to do the getting to know you form, which I actually put into the chat, and how to find it. And I could share screen if you want to see it, but there's like 15 questions that you want to sit with your new brand partner and ask them and get them to write it down. And then you write it down too. And so you both have a copy. And there's like these 15 questions. And you know which one's the most important? Number 12. What is your why for building a LifeWave business? If they don't know that, and that does change over time, but if they can't tell you that in the first place, so discover it with them. Anyway, I'm happy to show that if
Yeah,
you
no,
want.
I think for interest of time,
Yeah.
we'll
Sure.
move on, and
Sure.
I've got it ready, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
And what Sunshine just said, taking the time to get to know people says to them that you care about them. And that's the beginning of your relationship. So taking that time it's valuable beyond words. Okay, I think
Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay.
So what we set up to make it really simple for anybody that just wants to use an Excel spreadsheet is we're going to, you log into your personal website, obviously. You go to organization, hit your personally enrolled list, and then you'll see at the bottom on the left, for Macs, it may be different for the other, that you hit the Excel save file, turn page. These are just notes to follow. So what Joy and I did, she log onto the site, you see this, you put your username, okay, you do that. personally enrolled team. This is just a picture of it, so move on. But at least you'll see. Well,
Oh, sorry. What happened?
that's all right. We just tried to have it there so we could,
It's
You-
coming back.
because
Oh.
what happens is when you hear how to do it, you forget it. Yeah, I mean, I forget, I'm doing it so much. I will tell you now, while we're
That's okay.
waiting, can everybody see this? This is my team. Can you see that, or is that too difficult to read?
We can
That's-
see it, but it's very small.
Yeah, it is because you're on smaller phones. So what that is when I hit Excel, while you pull it up, Gregory, it gives me their number, first name, last name, status, binary, paid rank, whether they're ordering each month, company, everything you see, it comes up on Excel. You don't get everything that you get in the the main LifeWave site, but you get the phone number, the email, start date, next to order, etc. So you could extend out onto another line here, which I will do, and say, I talked to them such and such a date. They did this or they did that. So you'll be able to expand it, once you use that. So for Excel spreadsheet.
There you go. Great job, Sunshower.
Okay, you want me to go to the next slide, Jen?
Yes.
Oh, and
And
the
go-
next one?
hmm And the next one.
And the
Is-
next one?
Yes, this is where we left off.
Okay.
Great.
And tell me when you want me to move on.
So Jen is just coming back in. So she'll be with us in a second. So what she was just talking about, you can see there's the name, status, binary side, type, paid rank. Do they have an auto order? So this will help you understand the kind of information that she's tracking, and place for phone and email.
Kevin, maybe you can tell them where to go find that in their back
Yes.
office.
Yes, so Jen just shared it and she's back. So you go into the back office under organization and personally enrolled, and let me turn it over to you, Jen.
Okay. You're turning it over to me on my iPhone because I gave up on my
Okay.
computer. So the next page, if you can, you hit Excel. And what we tried to show you, we were using Michael's actually and mine. But we're showing you that once downloaded, you save it. I save it every day as MKJ or JA, personally enrolled list, and then I put the month, day, year, and I have a folder of all of them. And then you highlight the top row. Right there, that line that says first name, last name, etc. If you highlight that, Joy showed me, then I go to sort and filter. You see the yellow square there? You can sort and filter it to anything you want. And the next one will show you what we chose. Okay, so we chose to custom sort. You just hit sort, and we chose to put type and paid rank. And then you go to the next one, and it should show you how it came out, you see? And what I did there, I was able to remove everybody's name and phone number because I got all nervous. I'm a HIPAA person, therapist, but I was able to hit, for any of you sharing and teaching because the company doesn't want to give us a dummy site, you can actually hit your first name column, last name column, and you go and you hit on the right, there's two A's there. There's a white A. You just hit that white and it whited out everything. I didn't even have to do it. So I did that with the phone numbers and stuff, but you can see how it separated it, and you can see that it says preferred customer, whatever. So for Michael, and I have this in front of me, I'm able to pull up every day all of his managers, directors, how he's doing, etc. And for me too, I can pull that up and it shows me, I separate them by category. And I'll take all the golds, put them together, all the, silvers. And so I'm able to look at it. He is, and we go through it, every week, a couple times a week. So does that help?
Yeah, that's great. And so for everyone to know, when you go into your back office and you go to a report, there's a place that says Excel. Mine's on the top left, yours is on the bottom. But as soon as you click it, it will create an Excel spreadsheet for you, and then you can manipulate the data, and you'll have your phone numbers and all kinds of things there that you can reach out to people.
Yes.
And Robin, with that, could I just
Yeah.
mention, because we're talking some pretty technical stuff here, if you don't know how to do this, get with your upline and they can help you, or Google it. Google is a great resource for learning how to do sorting of Excel spreadsheets, etc.
And so
I
is
had
YouTube.
one more thing on that sheet I wanted you to show them. I'm sorry, Robin. But
No, it's
on
okay.
the sheet, on the right top, it also, you can look up, it says search. So quite often I will get one of Michael's people writing to me and they need me to help them. I'll go to search and I'll put in their email. And you know, when you have 3,000 plus emails, that it goes immediately to that person. So I instantly have their phone number, their address, everything. So that, and it gives me their customer number. So yeah, that little yellow square. So
Down
just
at the bottom.
yeah. And I hope
So-
that helps. I
so-
did put it into the thing so people could look at
Okay.
it later.
And I do want to share that in the future, the company may be taking away some of the personal information that we have access to. And so it's a good idea to capture these spreadsheets. If you want to do a whole downline report, you can go into organization and reps and click downline and create a spreadsheet so you have the information. But thank you, Jen, because, you know, as your organizations get really big, there's a lot to
Yeah.
take care of, and to have a simple, easy place to access the names and numbers and emails is great. Judy Friesen, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I thought I would just add, this is wonderful. And if for people who are into Excel spreadsheets, thank you so much, Jen and Alan. But what I actually do is on the far right-hand side, you saw of Jen's Excel spreadsheet, there were blank columns, like vertical columns.
Yeah.
Hers were already all the way over to say N or O or P in the alphabet. There's actually a blank column that you can create for ST, whatever you want to go. And so I have created an extra column that is what I call the way that they want to get communicated with. And I use the acronym etc, ETC. And so I write in an E beside their name if they want to be mostly contacted by email, a T if they want to be texted, and a C if they want to be called. So ETC, etc. And you can create a column and you can fill that in whatever people want. So you customize it. And then of course you can make another column for frequency. Do you want to contact them once a month, once a quarter, once a week? They will tell you what they want, and you can't remember all of that for if you get more than 20 people. So you don't want to do it by memory. You want to have these extra columns on your Excel spreadsheet, and it's a living document. It needs to be changed as they change or their lifestyle changes, or gets to the summer. They might say, don't contact me in the summer or whatever. You can keep track of all of this kind of stuff on that same Excel spreadsheet.
I love it. Thank you.
That was really fabulous, because we want to do what is best for them. And we don't know until we ask them, you know, what's the best way to communicate? And that's from that getting to know you form. Do you prefer emails, texts, phone calls? How often would you like to be in touch? And people have different appetites for connection. So taking the time to ask, and then you put it right on your spreadsheet and you know when to do it. That's wonderful. Well, I want to thank everyone for participating today. Retention is something that we will be spending more time talking about, because, you know, a lot of people have not tracked. If you go to your back office and you look at those red X's, there's a sign. And for people like, you know, Anne and Connie that have very, very high retention rates, it's because they stay connected. And same with, you know, Jen and Sunjour and Julian and, you know, who else spoke today? Who was it? Yes, all of you guys that are
Judy Friesen.
Judy Friesen. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Carl.
And Carl. You know, they're doing the work of staying connected, and from that place, and doing it respectfully for what's best for the customer, the prospect, the brand partner. And I'll end with this. Gregory shared this with me a long time ago, which made a huge difference, because a lot of us, follow-up is not our strength. It's just the honest truth, and that's okay. So a way to really figure that out and make it easier for everyone is never end one exposure without setting up the next, whether it's a prospect, a customer, or a brand partner. When you finish the communication, you set up the next one. And it may be a month from now, it may be 6 months from now, it may be tomorrow, but never end one exposure without setting up the next. Okay, well, we're going to complete this part of the call right now. And typically on Thursdays, we stick around for any other kind of business questions of any sort. So we are complete with the retention, although if you have a retention question, feel free to ask it. But who has a question about anything? Carl, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I just want to share on the positive side, retention. When somebody walks away, we all feel that, and we feel that perhaps we've let them down or they've quit too early. They didn't get what they wanted. And recently, or a while ago, I had a fellow join, and he almost immediately said, you know, I'm in good health. I'm in good shape. Can't see why I want to continue. I'm not seeing anything improve. And it was just a few weeks ago, he reached back to me and he said, you know, those patches. I said, here we go. I know what's coming next. Well, he's engaged in a different time of his life now. He says, you know, I really know that they work. His belief was there. His stick-to-itiveness wasn't. And he said, could you please get me back on? I've met someone. I need to match her speed. She's younger than me. He says, I need some of these things that are dogging me to go away. And I said, it'll be my pleasure. And we're putting him back on auto ship, and he's back in the game. And it just thrills your heart. So when they walk away, it's just like any other relationship. Perhaps your friend says, you know, we just kind of drifted apart, but you can come back together. And that, I think, is the beauty when you get that opportunity to re-engage them and see them say, I am looking forward to some good results this time because I know what I need.
Thank you, Carol. That's a wonderful story. And setting expectations in the beginning, a lot of us like to say, you know, we recommend a month for every decade you are old. Your body didn't get like this overnight, and giving it some time, and it's always working. You may not notice what you want right away, but it's working on what's most important. So thank you, Carol. So we have Adele, then Sunshower, then Beth.
Hello.
Hey.
I was trying to find something and got off. Oh, yes, you can hear me. This is similar. It's not exactly retention, but I thought I would share it how I got the Cancun trip, because it was similar. I had never done an Excel spreadsheet for my business, and not like this. And I started putting names of people who had mentioned on Facebook they might be interested, or that I kind of tagged thinking they had said something about a health issue. And I had a long list of names of people who were potentially clients. And I started working that list, and it was just a few a week. And almost what I want to share is the intention part of it. When I put their names on the list, I want to say 95% of the people that got on that list became customers or brand partners. It was like, oh my goodness, just setting that intention that this would be beneficial for them. So if I look through that list, there's only 2 or 3 that did not become, join the company for different reasons. So just kind of that idea of the Excel spreadsheet. And because of my lifestyle, I don't print much, but I just used it online, and I would go and think, okay, I have 1 hour or 10 minutes. Who can I reach out to today? It was really interesting. And then I color tagged everybody as they became, prospects or customers, excuse me. So it was really fun. And I was just trying to find it, but I couldn't find it quickly.
Okay, well, that's beautiful. The setting intention and writing it down, there's something magic about looking at names written on a paper. It's amazing. And I did that when I started, and I had a log sheet, and I'd highlight whether it became a customer or a brand partner or whatever. And I said, Gregory, I've never seen conversion like this in my life. And people are calling me back. This is really fun. This is definitely the most fun I've ever had. Thank you, Adele. That's wonderful. Sunshower.
What a juicy call this is, you guys. Well, thank you so much for doing this about retention. It is an issue that if we don't follow up, if we're not good follow-uppers and we're not organized, it can kind of get away from you. I did save the chat. I thought maybe some things that were in the chat would show up, but all that shows up is text, words. But I have that. And I also have Jen Allen's PowerPoint. So is there a way you'd like me to share that?
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's, and Excel is one of those things that could be a bit daunting for some if you've never had any education. There's many levels of learning, but there's some basics that if you're a non-techie, you can do easily. And YouTube and Google are great places to learn too. So thank you, Sunshower. Beth, you're next, and then Linda.
Good morning. This has been on my heart and I'm so excited about some of the tips. But one of the things I do every week is I send a health tip to all my customers and brand partners with the idea that if they have a team, they forward it on, take my name off and put theirs on and send it. So it's like, remember to drink water. It helps flush out the toxins and make your patches work better. And then I put my name on there, and I have created 52 of these over the year. And I just clean them up and, kind of make them a little fresher every time I send them, and I date what did I send last. But I just have a Word document, and I just go through and use it and send it out. And that way my name is in front of them every week, and they can think about their patches. And I end it with, do you have your patch on? Because that's the other thing, is they forget to wear them. And so that's my little follow-up. And I have people leave, but I get comments back. I might send out 40 and I get 5 comments back. So I know it's being seen.
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up, because what you're doing is you're adding value in a consistent way to people. A health tip. One simple tip could change someone's life, and it's top of the mind awareness with your name showing up. You're offering something of value, and one of our leaders, Angela, years ago, I remember her up on stage with another one of the leaders talking about every time you connect to someone, you're developing the heartstrings between your heart and theirs. And if you continue to do that, it becomes, an unbreakable bond between you. And this is a relationship business. So staying in touch like you're doing is really, really, really wonderful, Beth. So thank you for your tip. And Linda, you're next.
Hi there. This is kind of a different off that topic,
That's
but it's
fine.
something that my team and I am struggling with on the app. We used to have this wonderful X39 video that was 3 minutes long that when you're sending out, because we're wanting to stay X39, now we're kind of all at this loss of what video do we send out when we're trying to prospect to somebody that we've just met. We want to keep it X39. We want to keep it short. The X39 video that you have on there about, where to place the patch is like a minute long, but it doesn't go into what it is. The one, all things LifeWave, it goes about all the other patches, and where we want to stay X39 focused. What do we send?
Okay, well, that's a great question. And Gregory is in regular communication with Jeff Hildebrand. The company is going through a rebranding based on the FDA requirements now. So things are a little bit different. We still have that 3-minute video up on liveyounger.com, and it is available to share. You don't get the notification when someone watches it like you do from the app, but it is still up there, and they are working on some new tools. And for those of you that watched David Schmidt on the Stu Peters show recently, how many of you watched that one? Oh my goodness. Wasn't it amazing? and it was kind of moving in the new direction that we're going as far as compliance goes. And so David has some new languaging on that one. And Liz, I want to talk to you about maybe editing a few things out of that and seeing if we can make that available, because it is the new direction we're going. And we're in this interim right now, Linda, until the nutritional supplement is out in the US. We're restricted from, talking much about stem cell activity, but very soon, and the company's got whole new branding coming out and new videos coming out. So we're in this, challenging interim, but liveyounger.com still does have those videos on it.
Okay. It seems like we're getting less conversion without that video.
Yeah, well, try using liveyounger.com, and you just have to follow up, and you won't be able to tell if they watched it or not. But we do, there will be new tools coming out really soon, and we're going to get through this little interim phase, and things will get better and better and better. And I think everyone knows that, David's got new technology coming out in October, and basically the company's saying this is as potent, if not more, than the X39. So we just got to get through this interesting transition where we're in between things, and the new tools are coming. I know they're working diligently behind the scenes on giving us new tools. And so that's why we kind of kept it until the company says we can't use it anymore, but definitely try to use that. Okay. Jen, your hand is up.
Yes, thank you. I actually have started having people watch that 3-minute video with me on liveyounger.com because I don't want to lose the sale. I understand and agree with everybody. But so I just say, could you have 3 minutes? Let's just look at this together. And then you're going to really want to see the Live Younger, setup. And then I make sure that I send them from my app another video, a short one, whatever it is, so their curiosity is already up. But I actually watch it with them.
Well, that's a wonderful idea, because whether it's a 2-minute or 3-minute, it's only
Right.
2 or 3 minutes, and then they watched it. So that's a great idea. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Okay. So Lavelle, you've got your hand up.
I want to concur with Jen. Jen, I've done that a million times. Hey,
I bet you have.
Hey, Jerry, what's going on? Hey, Lavelle, how's everything going? Da, 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 talk. Jerry, you 5 minutes? The key is 5 minutes, because most people will give you 5 minutes of their time. And the name of the game is just to get your foot in the door. Because once you get your foot in the door, guess what? You can go into the whole house. Because then once you get there, you engage them just a little bit, because we're all busy. We're all doing our own thing. But if you can get your foot in you got 5 minutes after, of course, you talk a little bit just about life in general. But guys, that works like a charm. And I can tell you, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but my wife and I, we recruited hundreds of people personally.
Beautiful.
I'm telling you, that's the key. Go do it, guys. You can do
it. So that's homework for everybody. Find a few people that'll watch the video with you. And if you don't know, they could watch it on their computer. You could do a screen share on Zoom. There's so many different ways. You can just, send them to liveyounger.com and watch at the same time. But go for it. Go for it. And Jen,
one more thing, if I could.
Please.
I use when we watch that 3-minute video together, I then say to them, this was created by my team. You're going to join that team. And then I show them the rest of your website, and they freak out because you've got them. They're looking at the comparisons, the faces, everything. So it isn't just listening to that, but we go right into it, and I brag about you guys, everybody in the support. And it works. They really do want to be a part of it. And they can't get that from any other team. That's what I say.
Well, thank you for sharing that. People join for one of 3 reasons. They come in through one of 3 doors: the product door, the opportunity door, or the community door. And they fall in love with the other 2. And, community, especially at this unique time in history, is so important to people to have a place to connect, to go through the challenging times, to celebrate. It's more powerful than we give it credit. And we might do a call on community because it is something we don't talk much about, but it is a glue that keeps people connected, and it's what people are looking for. So thank you for bringing that up. And we're going to finish up with a brief comment. The operative word is brief from Carl.
Yes, and thank you for seeding that. I am going to be brief. What Lavelle was mentioning there, we can think back to Kai Jacobson, who we're all connected to, and he calls it permission marketing. Very important to understand that. And as I was sharing with one of my downline yesterday, ask them, can I send you a 2-minute video? Not can I send you a video? A video can be anything. It's like, how long is a piece of string? But I'm establishing it's 2 minutes. Can I send you a 2-minute video? Powerful way to get that permission going and open the door, as Lavelle said.
Great. And something I like to add to that, Carl, is when in the next day or so can you watch a 2-minute or a 3-minute video? And then when they say, well, I could watch it tonight, and then you set up the follow-up call the next day, when tomorrow would be a good time to follow up. So the closer the exposures are, the less you're going to need. The longer and more spread out they are, the more you're going to need, and the less opportunity to really make that conversion into them becoming involved. So keeping the exposures short and close together, you're going to need less. Well, thank you everyone for a great call today. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And retention comes from, as we heard today, connection and education. So figure out a system for yourself that works for you, whether it's on paper, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet, whether it's an email list, whatever it may be, so you can consistently be connected to your people and continue to add value and watch your retention continue to skyrocket. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Easter.
And have a
Great
wonderful
call. Happy Easter. Blessings to all of you.
holiday.
Happy Easter.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Fantastic call.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Happy Easter.
Thank
Blessings.
I love this team.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the best of all. We're blessed.
We love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Thanks for a great call.